Hey, everybody, it's Alzay Calhoun with Coveted Consultant, and we're here broadcasting live from today from the Facebook page. So we're going to continue with our technical, test challenge to see if we can make all of our things sync on the back end the way that we want. Glad that you're here. Thank you for spending time, for making time to hang out and talk about this good stuff. What's the point? What's the purpose? You run an agency and you sell services, and they're probably marketing services. And there's a difference between being a smart marketing person and running a good marketing agency. And I care about the second. I care about you being able to run a healthy marketing agency. And so I want to talk about the systems, the challenges, the thought processes, what it takes in order to run a successful agency. And there's a spirit of leadership that you've got to appreciate. That is unavoidable, and it requires some conversation. Bottom line, it requires some conversation. So that's what this whole group is about. That's what the group is about. That's what my services are about. And so we get a chance to dialogue here in the group, but some people are just kind of over it and they want help. And what I want to do is I want to be in a place where I can offer that help. So I offer a program. That program is designed to give you 3 essential systems. Client acquisition, so you can get clients in consistently. So by the way, client acquisition, we focus on LinkedIn. Client service, we focus on a method where you can deliver a premium productized service that you enjoy delivering. Number 3 is client retention, so that more of those single engagements become long-term engagements. These things are systems. These things provide value because you design them well. And so the program that I have is designed to help you do the work of design so that your company functions the way it wants. And so today's conversation is about the lies of a small agency. The clients in my program now and the people who really resonate with this kind of content already appreciate what I'm going to walk through today. But sometimes you gotta break it down so folks can see it. There are some lies floating around your agency. There's one core lie that I think shows up in multiple places, and that's what today is going to be about. What I'm talking about today is an active stop sign for your business. I'm not talking about a hack or a secret or a trick or a tool. I'm talking about an active stop sign, what is actively stopping your business. And at this moment, it may feel invisible to you. So I already admitted that we're doing some new tech stuff still, and so I'm checking to make sure right now before I get too deep into the content that we're here. So bear with me while that's taking place. There is. If you want to know how the program works, so this video is great and the other videos are great. But if you just kind of bottom line, how does the program work? Does it fit me? What are the kind of brass tacks bottom line? There's a training you need to watch, and that training is attached to this video here, up, down, left to right. There's an invitation to watch a very specific training that shows you how we structure an agency, how you can generate leads faster. We shows you that. What it takes to offer a productized service so you can deliver it faster and deliver it at a premium. We go through that. And then we talk about how to get client retention done. So let the training do what the training does. Please click that link, register, watch that training, and let's make sure that this program fits you. And if it does, we'll have a conversation, etc. All right. So Tanya's here. Hey, Tanya. Now, here's what's interesting for those of you who are content people and want to know how Facebook works. It says that Coveted Consultant has just joined this Facebook Live. Coveted Consultant is me. So I have no idea who Coveted Consultant is. If you're watching this, you can see it for yourself. It says Coveted Consultant has joined. I don't know who that is because that's me. I don't know who that would be. They just told me hi. So Emily, is that you? Is that you as an admin? And did it show up as covenant consultant? If that is, Emily, tell me it's you so we can figure that out. Hey, folks, I mean, what do? We're live. This is stuff you don't know until it's actually happening. Yeah, it's Emily. So I made Emily as an admin on my account today, on my Facebook page today. We're now live in my Facebook Live, and Emily is showing up with my face and my icon. What do you do? Okay. Sanity check, Emily. Do we have any? Yeah, right. So we're kind of laughing. Yeah, nice technology. What do you do? All right. So you don't know this stuff until you go live. We're here. Okay. Emily, sanity check about technology. Give me a thumbs up, please, so we can push on into the content. Are we good to go, Emily, technology wise? Three, two, one. Looking for a response. Don't have it yet. She's gonna tell me. All right, so I'll move forward anyway, and then if not, I'll stop and make an adjustment. Okay, what's holding up your agency, right? What is holding up your that's today's focus. What is holding up your agency is this concept, this thought process that you can do the heavy lifting yourself. This idea that you can do it yourself, the do it yourself idea is a stop sign for your business. And this do-it-yourself thing, it's not just present for little bitty small agencies trying to get their first client. This is present for six-figure agencies trying to get to, $500,000. This is true for 500,000 agencies trying to get to 1 million. This do-it-yourself thing is sneaky, and it hides amongst your business. And you look up one day, and you're like, why does it hurt so bad? What's going on? Do it yourself. So there are 3 ways I want to kind of attack this idea of do it yourself. So you can see it, and you can see for yourself where this stop sign may exist. So let's start with the first one. Agenda item number 1 here is there's this thought that you should be able to figure it out yourself. That's the assumption. I'm a smart person. I've got experience. I've been doing this for a while. I mean, come on, man. I can figure things out. I can figure this out myself. There's this assumption that you should be able to figure this out yourself. Let's go deeper. Let me just tell you directly. Your classic education, your formal education, didn't show you how to figure this out. I'm talking about how to build an agency. How to be in the business of selling services. How to serve clients at the highest level repeatably and constantly. That wasn't in your formal education. English, Spanish, science, reading, math, language arts. That was in your formal education. But growing an agency was not in your formal education. So there are things that you don't know. Now, here we go. There are things that you know and things that you don't know, right? That's true for all of us. As it relates to growing an agency, there are things that you know about, things you don't know about. Here's what ends up happening. You end up working really hard on the things you know about because you think you should be able to figure it out, so you're assuming it's already in your head already. So you work really hard on the stuff you know about. But then there are things you don't know about because they weren't in your education. They weren't in your experience. They're all over here. And you've spent 0 time on these things because you didn't know they were needed. They weren't part of your education. So you look up one day, 6 months later, 6 years later, and you've worked really hard on this stuff. That's stuff you knew about. You spent 0 time on this stuff. Look at that. All that breakdown comes from the assumption that you should be able to figure it out yourself. Okay. Many of your favorites, right? Because we're in the online space. There are all kinds of YouTube videos, Facebook videos, and blog content, and big fancy companies, and celebrity entrepreneurs, and all kinds of stuff, right? So there's a lot of faces and pundits and et cetera out there. You may even consider Covenant Consultant to be one of those. And so you see these people. And every time you see Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, right? He's a big face and name in this social media marketing thing. Every time you see Gary, you always see Gary. It's always Gary's face in the video, right? Every time you see him, it's always him. Now, this is not so true in latest iterations, but there was a point in time where you only saw Gary Vaynerchuk's face. Again, not Gary Vaynerchuk, not only Gary Vaynerchuk. Pick your favorite, whoever it is. You always see that person, right? That person. You are disconnected from everything required to put that person in front of you. You don't see it. So even as you see the person you're in front of and you go, man, listen, I can talk on a camera. That's not hard. Listen, I can write a blog. That's not hard. I can write an article. That's not hard. I can reach out to a client or two. That's not hard. And so you look at that and you go, that's not difficult work. I should be able to figure that out. It's not hard. Look at it. It's not difficult. I can figure that out. And what you're disconnected from are all the other things attached to that end result. You see one person. What you're really looking at is a team of people. So now that's why I'm talking about Gary Vaynerchuk. Let's go back to Gary Vaynerchuk. So now when you watch Gary Vaynerchuk's content now, he actually references someone off camera. I forget the person's name, but he'll reference, hey, Tim, Bobby, Timothy, Richard. Right? Those are people sitting behind the camera that enable Gary Vaynerchuk to do what he does. That's infrastructure sitting behind the camera. Gary Vaynerchuk is not recording, editing, scripting, blah, 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 distributing his own content. He's got a team of people helping him do that. You can't figure it all out by yourself. You just can't figure it all out by yourself. It's a poor assumption, but it's one you can get sucked into. Hey, Nelson, good to see you. What happens over time when you have worked really hard to figure something out by yourself? And the assumption is that you could figure it out and that you should figure it out. What happens is it gets really hard. You didn't know. Again, there are things you knew, things you didn't know. You worked hard on what you knew about. There are things you didn't know anything about, so you hadn't worked on those things. What happens over time is as you begin to realize how difficult all this stuff really is, you quietly get embarrassed. You sitting all by yourself. You go, this was supposed to be easy. I saw that. It's supposed to be easy. Why is it so difficult? Why can't I figure this out? Maybe I'm not as smart as I think that I am. And then when you start going down that path, maybe I'm not as smart. Maybe I was only a C+ student. Maybe I couldn't have gone to college. Maybe I went and got too much college education. And quietly you get embarrassed. And that embarrassment over too long ends in shame. Now you're like, I spent all this time and I haven't figured it out yet. I spent all this money and I haven't figured it out yet. You don't want to tell anybody about it. It's shameful. And listen, been there, done that. So I know what all these emotions are. I'm not making this up. This is stuff I felt. So as you're going down this ugly mental, emotional place, all of that is born from the incorrect thought that you should be able to figure this all out by yourself. You can't. You shouldn't be able to. This is actually a team sport. Business is a team sport. So this idea of you doing it all by yourself, it's a poor assumption, but it's one you can get sucked into, right? All right, cool. So that's number one. Number two, agenda item number 2 here, is that it's more effective to figure it out by myself, right? It's smarter to figure it out by myself. I'm being intelligent when I try to figure it out by myself, right? It's effective. It's more effective, more efficient if I do it by myself, if I figure it out by myself. There are 2 thoughts here, 2 driving thoughts. One is that I can save money doing it by myself. It's cheaper to do it by myself. I don't have to pay him, or him. I don't have to sign up for that, or that. I can figure it out myself. It's cheaper if I do it myself. The second is that I can save time doing it myself. So it's more efficient. I can do it faster. I can just do it. I don't have to hire him or her. I can just do it. I can just do it faster. I can put up my own webpage. I can send out my own video. I can reach out to my own clients. I can do it by myself. It's just faster if I just do it. Let's go back to it being cheaper. Is it really cheaper to do it yourself? Is it really? So you say it's cheaper, right? You say it's cheaper. And if you had hired someone else to do it, Like let's say putting up a website. That's a good standard example. Putting up a website. So you can hire that guy to put up a website for you, right? To help you get your first website built or your third or 19th website built. So you can have that guy do it. You go, nah, I can figure it out by myself. So what do? You got to go buy your own hosting, buy your own domain name. You've got to get your own. You got to design either a template or code your own. Whoa, boy, code your own, et cetera, et cetera. You got to figure out your own color schemes and content organization. Figure all that stuff out. Now you know this because you do marketing stuff. You know how many tools you have to use just to get those things done. Do you know how many tools you have to buy? You have to buy tools just to get that stuff done. You got to buy this tool. You got to buy that tool. And for those of you who have bought tools before, you know, have you ever bought 2 or 3 different tools in order to get one thing done? Like you weren't sure which tool was the right tool, so you bought 3, all right? Or you bought 5, or you bought 2 tools and you tested one, you tested the other one. I'll go with that one. You ever done all that? So by the time you add up all those costs, was it really cheaper to do it yourself? Rhetorical. Okay, let's continue. So it's more efficient, save time. If you hire that guy to build your website for you, what does it take? If you hire the right person to build your website for you, what does it take? A week? 2 weeks? Just a simple, basic, a usable website so you can generate your leads and move on to your next thing. What does it take? 6 weeks? 6 weeks to get a website done through that guy or that lady or that agency or that firm. Okay, now do it yourself. How long do you spend tinkering with your website? You got to buy all the tools. You got to figure all the tools out, understand all the different tools, glue them together. You got to see how they break because they're going to break. So you see them break, right? And that's a bad setup. That's a bad setup. You go through all that, right? How long does that take? Are you 6 weeks in yet? Okay. So what happens when you get done with your, let's say, no, Alzay, I can do it in 4 weeks. I can plow through, get it done. I can do it faster than him still. 4 weeks, not 6, 4. All right. So you do it in 4 weeks. What does your finished site look like? So you pushed hard, you grinded it out, you did your website in 4 weeks, you did it yourself. Do you like what the website looks like at the end? Or you go, that's not very good, but I can't spend any more time with this. I got to move on. So you're dealing with a subpar work product. Consciously, you made a conscious choice to accept a subpar work product because you focused on doing it yourself. What I'm getting at, and this is not my term, I actually found this term somewhere else, but someone called it a stupidity tax. When you are doing things that are outside of your excellence, when you're doing things that are outside of your focus, you pay a stupidity tax. It costs you. It does cost you to do things that are outside of your core focus. And maybe you find a way to justify it, but are you really aware of how much it really costs you? It costs. There's a spend to it. It costs you in time. It costs you in money. There's a spend to it. Stupidity tax, because you don't know what to do. And so while you're getting smarter, it's costing you. All right, point made. One day, no, actually, sorry. This idea of it being more effective to figure it out yourself. What's also happening that may not be that you may not be conscious of. What's also happening is the weight of all of that responsibility. So all these tasks that you could have delegated, you should have delegated, that really belong to someone else so they can help your business move faster. As you take on all those different jobs, there's a weight that comes with that. The anxiety of getting all those different things purchased and bought and organized. The pressure of getting it all put together and presented the right way. The disappointment you feel when it doesn't work out the right way, but you spent all this time, et cetera, et cetera. There's this pressure that comes with all of that responsibility that was never supposed to be yours. You were never supposed to have all these things under your responsibility. You were never supposed to figure all this stuff out. You were never supposed to be doing all of these different things. But you tried. Maybe you're still trying. And now you feel the weight of all of that. And you're frustrated because of all the weight that you're feeling. It's because you've taken on too many jobs. You thought it was more effective to figure it out yourself. And that weight that you feel, that crushing sense of pressure that you feel is the indicator that it's not more effective to finish it, to do it all yourself. It's actually heavier to do it all yourself. Let's keep going. Number 3, agenda item number 3. Hey, Jack, I see you here, sir. Good to have you, man. Number 3 is that it's better, perhaps more fun to do it all yourself. It's just better, right? It's a better experience if you know how all these things work. It's a better experience if you do all these things yourself. You just, you know the business inside and out. You ever heard someone say that to you? You should know your business inside and out. It's a really good, manly thing to say, good pride, ego-driven thing to say. You should know your business inside out. All right, cool. Okay. Here's the thing. So as you're doing all these different things, you're learning a lot. Learning is fun. No kidding. Especially those of us that, that are intellectual and thinker. I'm a thinker. I know I am, and I don't fight the label. I'm a thinker. And so you give me a chance to think about something, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna let me ponder. I'm gonna get my pondering in, right? So learning and thinking and all that kind of good stuff is fun. The issue is that learning and thinking is not profitable. It's not a profitable behavior. So to say perhaps a little better, there's a point at which the learning is no longer profitable. There's a point at which you know what to do, you've learned what to do. Now it's time to do it and do it aggressively. But this idea of keep learning and learning and learning just has you spinning and spinning and spinning. And as you're reading and reading and reading, watching and watching and watching, studying and studying and studying, and you're not in the business of studying. That's not your business model. You don't get paid to study. So there it goes. There it breaks, right? So it's fun to learn these things and do them all yourself to a point. And then there's a point where your desire to learn becomes very, very costly for your business. It's better, more fun to do it myself. Yeah, that's a space of zero accountability. So you can do whatever you want whenever you want to. It's your business. That's one of the values or one of the benefits of having your own business. You have control. You have creative freedom. So you can do whatever you want whenever you want. You've got no real accountability. And that lack of accountability is why your thoughts are all over the place. While you're doing 9 different things today. While you're thinking about doing 40 different things tomorrow. Why by the time you get to the halfway point of the year, you've tried 600 different things. Because you had the freedom, the ability to think about all those different things. There's nothing wrong with the freedom, but the freedom's got to have bounds. There's got to be some bounds to the freedom. There's got to be some direction to your movement. Without the direction, it's just pandemonium. It's just chaos. It's just activity happening. The freedom is sexy. But for too many people, it's a space of zero accountability. There's no check or balance to make sure that what you're doing happens end over end. It's better. It's more fun if I do it myself. The money is fun. So you're having fun in the business because you're doing it yourself and you've had some success early on. So you had some success. Some folks are paying you. You got a couple of clients on retainer. Shh, I'm a winner. This is great, right? And this is a story for especially the more advanced businesses, those folks who are making 6 figures, who are pushing on 7 figures, trying to double up and get to 2 million or 3 million or 4 million. Money's coming, right? I won. I fought the fight. I grinded it out, and now we're making money, right? We're legitimate. We won, right? The money is fun. So you figured it out, however you did it. The money is fun. But then there's a point where what you knew, what you've built, what you've done is you figured it out all by yourself, no longer works. There's a point at which that growth curve begins to bend, right? You were shooting up, making all this money, and then it begins to bend. And because you've been doing it all yourself, where do you turn to go to get advice or help to help stop that bend and start a new growth curve? Where do you go? You don't have anywhere. So the money was fun. The money was fun. But now there's a point at which having that money all by itself, or the money all by itself, doesn't create the next growth curve. And if you're doing it all by yourself, you don't know that. And you don't see that. And you don't see it until this money becomes that money. And now you're way down here trying to figure out some magic awesome solution. Okay. One day, I'm still on number 3 here, right? It's more fun to figure it out all by yourself. Long story short, I'm saying is that one day it becomes clear to you that this freedom isn't as much fun as I thought it was. So while you're doing it all by yourself, what you want, when you want, that blah 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 blah. At some point, there's a light bulb that hits you where you go, you know what? This is not as much fun as I thought. Like it's heavier, it's harder, it's more complex. It's not working anymore. What do you do? Right? Okay. Agenda item number 4. Moving to number 4 here. Now you may look at me and my business, right? Because I'm the person saying here, don't do it all by yourself, right? I'm saying that, and so you look at me and go, but Alzay, aren't you doing it all by yourself? Like, I mean, dude, every time I see the video, I always see you. Right? Like, where's your big team? Where's your fancy agency? Where are the people, all these people supporting you? If you say, I need support, you need support, Alzay, right? You're doing it all by yourself. Let's talk about that. I'm for it. Let's talk about that. Number 1, I hire help. Now, I've said Emily's name more than once in these Facebook Lives over time here. So you know, at a minimum, there's somebody named Emily, some magic person named Emily, that helps me organize these Facebook Lives. At a minimum, you know that. I'm telling you, in addition, there's other folks that I have hired. Emily's not the first person I've hired. She won't be the last either. There's some folks I work with outside of Emily, right? So in my little bitty business, right? You know, whatever, my little bitty, you know, because I'm not Ford or Nike or any of them fancy businesses, right? I have no desire to be, for that matter. No desire to be. But I'm saying even in my world, I hire help. I hire real help too. I don't play around. I hire real help, people who can really help. Okay. Before I hire people, I hire systems. So even as you're seeing this content piece from me right now, there's a way that this piece got to you, that this piece of content got to you. I didn't just sit down on a random day and just say, I'm going to do a Facebook Live today. And I just, you see me looking at notes. Where did these notes come from? Right? There's some level of structure you're feeling from the content you are receiving. I'm trying to make that context more visible for you for a moment, more palatable. Because while you're sitting here just kind of watching content, you don't appreciate the structure that's being given to you. This is a thing. It's a thing. And before I hire 100 people, I hire systems. I make sure that what I have is organized and prepared to be deployed by me, by those who work with me, or by the clients who receive services from me. Before I hire people, I hire systems. There's always some infrastructure. In everything that I do, there's always a level of infrastructure. By the way, as it relates to you, what I believe the most powerful piece of infrastructure you can put in your business starting today is the productized service. That's why I talk about it so much. That productized service serves as the building block that you can attach all these other wonderful business growth things to. If you'll get the productized service, we can put all these other things onto it. Without that productized service, you don't have anything to latch onto. It becomes a core system. Now, I'm not explaining that today. That's a conversation for a different day. But if you watch the training that is surrounding this video somewhere, that training explains what a productized service allows your agency to do. It's a business changer. But it's a core system. You don't have to hire 100 people to productize. No, you don't. No, you do not. Okay? I feel myself getting to a soapbox. I'll move on. If you're sitting here watching this content and you're challenging me, but Alzay, I see you. You're saying I should get help, but every time I see content, I always see you. Aren't you doing everything? Okay. I don't do one-off tasks. So you know how clients ask you to do this, and that, and that, and that? Yeah, well, I don't do those last three things. I don't do one-off tasks. In my own business, when I think about options and choices and directions I can take my business, everything I do in my business is reused, is repurposed, is reapplied. It is, another word to use here, is leveraged. Everything in my business is leveraged. Everything you see from my business is intentional. Let me add that word, is intentional, done on purpose, and is leveraged, used in multiple ways. Everything. So without having to hire 40 employees, there's a way that I can work inside my business to get a lot of things done when I just move one little bitty step. Little steps for me equal many things getting done. That is by design, ladies and gentlemen. That's not because I'm smart, I'm savvy, went to some good schools, had a great mentor or not, whatever. Forget all that. There's an intentionality inside my business to deliver the most amount of value I can with the fewest number of moving parts. That's a leadership thing. That's done by design. So though you may only see me, what's not obvious to you, what is invisible to you, are all the things that make this work. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things, and those things are intentionally built, and they are intentionally fed. I feed those things. You don't see it. It's invisible to you. I feed those things so that they allow me to do the highest level work that I can do. That's by design. It's intentional. It's intentional. Final note here: if you're looking at me in my situation, and you're like, again, Alzay, I only see you. Where's your 100 staff members? The warning I have for you is you will look at what you see from me or whoever else your favorite may be, whatever other person on YouTube you follow or on Twitter, or on Facebook, or some other business person that's probably made a lot more money than me, etc. Right? Because I don't have any ego about that. There's a lot of folks that make a lot more money than me. You can't replicate what you can't see. So I'm warning you, the people that you really respect, that you admire, that you say, man, I'd love to have a business like so-and-so's. I'd love to do what so-and-so just described. Man, I'd love to grow to that next level. I'm saying directly out loud that there are things functioning in their world that you can't see. And so while you're trying to copy, replicate, emulate, borrow from, or just be inspired by what they do, there's elements of the execution that are invisible to you. You can't see them. And so you're trying so hard to do what you see, but then you don't understand what the gaps are. There they are, right? You can't figure this stuff out by yourself because it's invisible. There's elements of success that are not visible to you. You need to get some help. And I just gave you a couple of short ideas on how I use help in my own business. The core admission here, the core thing to admit is that not only you can't figure it out by yourself, but that's not because you're not intelligent enough. It's because it's not designed to be figured out. There's too many moving parts. There's just too many things to be done to assume that you can figure it all out by yourself, which means that you shouldn't try to figure it out by yourself. It's an impossible challenge. Now, you can ball up your fist and you can grit your teeth. You can close your eyes real hard and you can try to, bear your way through it. It's a painful, painful existence. Period. My clients already get this. Everything I just described today, my clients already understand. The people that are in the group coaching program right now already get this. They already get that that it's not to be figured out by yourself. You shouldn't try to figure it out by yourself. And they've already experienced the pain of driving this big rock uphill. They've done. They've already had the experience. My best, if we're not working together, I'm telling you, my best client, my best prospect is someone that already gets this. Where the whole time you've been watching this content, you've been nodding the whole time because you're like, yeah, yep, did that one, been there, done that. Nope, doesn't work that way. Yep, got it. My best clients, my best case studies, the folks who will get the most out of the services that I offer, already acknowledge that this is not to be done by yourself. And you've got to get help doing the other things. So I've got a program that's designed that's designed rather. I have a program that's designed to give you this very important outline. I submit to you that this shift of not doing it all by yourself begins with 3 core systems: client acquisition, client service, client retention. And if you're willing to think about your business in that outline, there's a variety of things that all of a sudden don't become yours to do anymore. It's a place of freedom. Now, here's something that my clients, if any current clients are watching this right now, they're going to laugh at this next thing that I'm going to say. I'm warning you in advance. When you acknowledge that I can't do it all by myself, even though I've got a team, I'm still trying to do it all by myself. Even though I've got people to help me, I'm still functioning by myself. There's a lot of folks who are doing that too. When you decide to let get this weight, that big crushing weight, to finally get it off of you, you're going to enter into a new mental space. There is a new set of language that you have to adopt. There is a new set of behaviors that you've got to take on. It is much like speaking English and Spanish. It's a different language. When you decide to stop owning all this stuff all by yourself, a new set of words flies out of your mouth. And you got to practice using those new sets of words. You've got to practice doing those new sets of behaviors. It's a shift from English to Spanish. And here's where folks get caught. They get trapped. So if you live in the US and you move to Mexico, the national language is Spanish. That's what they speak in Mexico. I don't care if you're English, and I don't care how long you've been speaking English. I don't care your mastery of the English language. Doesn't matter. You've now moved to a different place. You must now speak a different language. That's what I'm describing to you. This is an invitation to move to a different place and therefore speak a different language. But I'm also saying to you that you're not going to be fluent in the new language. It is a different language. If you move to Mexico, if you're in the US speaking English, and you move to Mexico, you must now speak Spanish. Period. You must now speak Spanish. Now, you may know a couple of phrases already, and you might be able to hack a couple of sentences together. Okay, fine. So you can order a little food to eat, and you can find a restroom and perhaps find somewhere to stay. But if you're really going to live a life, in Mexico, you got to learn Spanish. Period. There's no other way of talking about that. You must learn Spanish. Done. So my invitation to you, I'm telling you, you make this shift from doing it all yourself to building a business that other people can help you build. It requires a different language, and it's going to feel like Spanish. And maybe you can hack it for a little while doing it the way that you're doing it. You're hacking it. And how long can you hack it until you got to do it for real? There you have it. All right, cool. Thank you for hanging out and enduring these Facebook Lives. I say enduring. I'm just kidding. But these topics mean a lot to me. I think that these topics are the difference between having what you want and not having what you want. By the way, if you got a question, you got a comment, you got a concern, you like what I just talked about, you don't like it, Alzay, never do it again. Or Alzay, please do more of these. Let me know. Whatever's on your mind, please. We'll have a little conversation here. I want to move into Q&A. But as you can see, for me, this topic means a lot to me. How you structure your business means a lot to me. And you can structure a business, you can run a business, you can make some money and hate the way you do business. You can run a business, you can make some money and feel this incredible pressure in your business. And it's inappropriate. It's unnecessary. You don't have to go through all of that. But you're going to have to make some choices about about your new behavior, about your new structure. It's a thoughtful approach. You got to decide how you want your business to work. So if you're up for that challenge, that's what this program is designed to do at its base. Yes, we help you attract new clients from LinkedIn. Yes, we help you build a productized service. Yes, we help you extend that client service into longer-term retainer offers. Yes, so that's the business stuff we all like to get happy about or get excited about. But at our core, we are accepting the leadership responsibility of designing the business we want. A business that's good for you, good for your clients, and that's it. A business that's good for your clients and good for you, right? So Straight. All right, great. So I don't see any questions yet here. I'm totally okay with that. There is one question that was submitted a little earlier, so I'll go through that one. So Nelson, by the way, Emily, if we've got double comments in places, please post a comment. I may not see it, please. Okay. Nelson said, so this is a question that was submitted a little earlier. Nelson said, and it's interesting the way that he framed the question, because it's like a series of truths. He wrote it out in a paragraph, but when I break it out, it reads as a series of truths. So I'm reading it to you separately so you can read it. So you can understand what I'm saying. So Nelson said, most of my prospects and customers have problems they aren't aware of. Yeah. Usually, they come to me for some form of analysis and are shocked when I give them my evaluation. Yeah. That's how that goes. The ones that get over the shock go on the ones that go over the shock, one more time. The ones that get over the shock go on to become my best clients, while the others prefer to stick to their own way of thinking. Yeah. Alzay, how do you communicate with such people when you know there is no way to let them down gently? So again, Nelson wrote all that in one big paragraph. But if you separate it out, like it's a series of truths, right? Okay, like that's how it works. So Nelson, I'm confirming for you what you just wrote is how it happens. That's how it happens, right? Folks come to you not knowing what the real problem is, not knowing what they really want. That's why they came to you. You're the expert, and they're not. That's why they came to you. So you give them a response that is counter to what they thought. Probably so, because they didn't know how to fix their own problem. So yes, what you say to them is probably going to be surprising to them. Some folks are going to go, you know what? I appreciate that. That'll help me solve my problem. Sign me up. Some folks are going to be like, what is that? That's weird. I'm leaving. Okay. What do you do about that is what Nelson is asking. And I'm saying to him, like I would say to anybody else, that is okay. That is how it works. Not everybody who interacts with you wants to become a client. Not everybody that interacts with you actually wants to solve their problem. Not everybody does. So, period. You've got to be okay with that. Number one, you've got to be okay with that reality. Not everybody who interacts with you is going to want to become a client or solve their problem at all. You've got to be okay with that, and don't let it become an ego thing because they told you no or they don't want what you've got. Skip your ego. Nobody cares, right? That's your ego. It's your ego. That's the first part of that. The second part of that is the most valuable thing you can do for someone is to confirm their decision and send them on their way. I mean, let me rephrase that. The most valuable thing you can do for someone is understand their situation, confirm what they want to do about it, confirm their decision, and then send them on their way. So if you've dialogued with someone and you've confirmed their situation, you know that they're going through X. Got it? Now, what do you want to do about that? You can go red, white, or blue. What do you want to do about that? And you would recommend red, but they would rather blue. Okay, go try it. Send them on their way. Do not. Period. There's a lot of stuff we can get caught up in that, but your resistance to send them on their way is your problem, not theirs. That resistance that you're feeling is your issue. That's you. I'm not saying that you won't feel a certain way. We all have emotions. We're all human. You are going to feel a certain way about that. But the most appropriate thing you could do for them is to understand their situation, confirm what they want to do about it, and let them go wherever it is they want to go. And if sometimes people need to go experience more discomfort, then they'll come back to you. Sometimes folks will leave and force it their way and get what they want. Good for them. But there you have it. That's a big deal. A lot of folks get emotionally caught up in when someone doesn't like what they've got. It's not about your emotions. You'll have emotions. You'll feel emotions. But that interaction with you and somebody else is not about your emotions. This in the spirit of business and helping clients solve their problems, it's not about you. It's about them and their problem. Good. All right. Looks like so far we're good. We're good to go. So thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for the questions, the feedback, the comments. Much appreciated. We're done for this Facebook Live. I will see you in the next one. Take care.